Oh, that's the wrong screen. Good morning, y'all. Oh, you know what? Actually, we should throw a little bit today. Actually, I was gonna not throw, but I decided, and now I'm deciding it. I'm throwing an audible. Let's throw. Before I start talking to you, let's throw. And let's actually throw with what we did to win the 100K. Want to repeat the process? Wouldn't it be cool if I could have the same numbers? Um, Turn that puck off. Actually, I'm gonna go out here like I did that day, and I'm gonna actually have to get some more money out of the bank. I'm gonna go. You remember I had $10,000 that day, right? And we're gonna recap the whole thing in a bit. But let's go out there. 76. I think I did 7,600 across, right? There's 5,000. There's 7,500, and another $500. That'll be 7,600 across. Okay. What that's going to look like is this. It'll be 6,600 inside. So 1, 2. I'll spread them out for you. 3 units on the 5, 6, and 8. I'm going to trade those in. Get some blacks. There's 10 blacks. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4 change. And I think we did this. We did the outsides for 500 each. I had the $400 back in the rack. So we did 7,600 out there. Okay. That was 7,600, 8,000, 9,000, $10,000. There's our bankroll. And I threw twice, right? Let's try a little skill 66 here. Let's just see if I can't make this thing work again live, right? There's no way it's going to work twice in a row, right? But we'll just for funsies' sake, see if we can't do it. Let me get a point real quick here. That was in 9, 5 and a 4. The day we did it, the point was 5. So we're on the sister here. There's a 9. And let's go. Let's get 2 inside numbers. What do you think, huh? 2 inside numbers, can we do it? Can we? No matter what happens here, we're gonna follow the same pattern, but hopefully we can get it out. There's a 9, but we hit the point, which is fine. That'll pay $2,100. So there's 2,100. I'm gonna drop 100. We're gonna go press, 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 press. Now I have 8,800 inside. I'll get those looking nice and neat for you. There it is. Puck is gonna be off. So that's skill 66, right? 66 inside. Take a hit for 22. Drop $1. Go to 88. We just did the same thing, just with a whole bunch of extra zeros on it, right? Here we go. Another point. Getting dangerous here, right? There's an 8, 6, 2, 8. Remember, the day we needed the $100,000, I was $5,000 short. It was like $4,900 short or something like that. I needed 5K to win the whole thing. And this is exactly how we did it. Hopefully, this right here, the money shot, works a second time. And we'll see if we can't make a quick. Can I make a quick $5,000? Ooh, I did. I made a 4. Look at that. 314. Ha ha. That's going to be close, actually. It's not actually not going to be there. That's going to pay $1,000. Okay. Which is not enough, right? Because these things here pay $2,100, or these are going to pay $2,800, right? So we're not there. That's going to be a collect only. But if we get the paycheck here, we'll have extra money. We'll have extra bonus money to play with. Bummer. The outsides are like there to kind of just give me something to do. Could have actually done this. I'll take that too. That 500, $1,000. I'm going to actually do this. I'm going to give them both 1. Just be aggressive with it. Why not? It's fake money anyway, right? Here we go. Give me a number. Give me a number. Come on, baby. 1, 2, 3. Of course, it's a freaking 3, right? 1, 2, 3. It's gonna make me fight for it, right? Come on, Johnny. This will be so anticlimactic if I throw a 7 here, won't it? Come on. Good looking throw. It's a freaking yo. Come on. Oh my goodness gracious, a 6-5 yo. Gee whiz. Can I just get off the horn numbers and give me a number? Come on, dude. Let's go. Come on, inside number. What do we got? We got a 3. Are you kidding me? We're going to be doing this all morning. A 3, a yo, a 3. Come on, man. Come on, man. Let's go. There it is. There's the 5. Okay, sweet, Sweet baby. Okay, the 5 is going to pay 2,800. Okay, there's 2,000. There's 3,000 for 2. Okay, so 30 for 2 is how you do that in the casino. Let's take these blacks down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blacks, and there's 3 there, 4 there. I'll take these as a purple chip. We're gonna take all of it down. Remember, we needed $5,000 that day to get our final paycheck and get the whole thing done, right? Let's put all this back up in the rack and have some fun. All right, there's 2,500. There's 5,000. There's 7,500. There's the 10,000 we started with. Okay, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2,500. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5,000 we needed, and because we hit the 4 and 10, we have an extra $900 because that one extra hit. That would be play money, right there. It is. There's the $100,000 winner. The day we did it, of course, we threw a 5-1-6, but that's how we did it. We did the skill 66, and what I really wanted to do that day, as you recall, I'd been playing the drawdown for the last $40,000 in wins was the drawdown. And I love the drawdown. And I really love the draw. And there's lots of reasons why. But Dylan from Skill and Luck created that skill 66 style of play a couple years ago, right? We were done a few shows on it. I played that live in the casino quite a bit. Now I've had mixed success in the casinos with it, but I love the strategy. I love Dylan. And I thought it'd be pretty appropriate to let his way of play be the thing that got us the number in the end. Instead of my drawdown, do that one. And hopefully it was cool to see it happen a couple of times there live. It was really kind of fun. Anyway, that's the $100,000 winner. I just did, and that was a long roll, by the way. That was like, what was that? That was a set a point of 9, hit a 9, set a point of 8, and then we had a 3, 11, a 3, a 4. That was actually like a 10 roller. Anyway, let's get into the real nuts of the day here. And I want to go back and just kind of, say a couple things. One, Joe's recap was great, by the way. If you didn't see it, let me get where'd my mouse go? I need my mouse. Sorry, I'm not quite set up here with the studio right where I want to get. Anyway, Joe's recap yesterday was great. It's so cool because everybody has such different experiences on these big meetups, you know what I mean? And to see what, how Joe experienced the first time in Vegas. And of course the trip with Dan was great. I mean, that's good stuff. I missed your show this morning, Joe. I'm sorry about that. I actually woke up just a few minutes ago. I slept in, but good job there. I think Ryan from Mark the Point has got a couple of lives he's gonna release soon. He recorded a little bit at the Crapless table. I think he's gonna put those lives out this week. Maybe tonight is one. I'm not sure. He'll let us know, I'm sure, in chat, but that's coming soon. And also coming soon is Crapsy for the Cure. So people have been asking in chat and everywhere else, when am I going to get back to doing some bingo play and some more fundraising? I'm going to start that stuff next week. I just kind of need a week. This week, I had to just decompress. We will come back at it hardcore next week with some more donation stuff. But one of the things we can do, Chuck from Crapsy put into Crapsy, he gave us a special login for Craps for the Cure. And what that means is when you do the dealer tip thing in Crapsy, when we're playing on games that use that code, all the donations, all the dealer tips that you would put in go to the charity. So he's going to forward 100% of the money to the charity. So I might do a 1 or 2 lives this weekend just to kind of test it all out. And yeah, anything you do donate during the show goes right to the charity. I'm going to give that same code to everybody else. So if Joe and Craig and Jeff and George and whoever else wants to use that same Crapsy login, any monies that come in the players during Crapsy runs will go to charity. So we can do that for the rest of the month too. I saw a question out there in chat, by the way, before we even start our program today. I think it was Wattage Live. Let us know when the raffle is, and there's a firm date. Yes, so the raffle will be held on Veterans Day, which is the 11th. I don't know what time yet, but it'll be that day. I might just do it like as a prime time evening kind of thing. So that's going to be the date. The date for that will be Veterans Day. I think it's kind of appropriate, right? Skill asks also here, what is the takeaway for everyone? What didn't work? What needs to be improved or updated? Do I feel I met the target of completion, early, late, right on time? Are you talking about the Craps for the Cure, or are you talking about the 100K skill? Maybe you can clarify that. When I first read this comment, I feel like you're talking about the event, the Craps for the Cure event. So I'll answer it in that context, but then I'll come back and also answer the same question in the context of the 100K. So in the context of Craps for the Cure, what did we learn? A lot. Um, I'm not a fundraiser by trade. I'm not a salesperson by trade. There was a hot minute there where, in my earlier days, I got a salesperson job. I don't. It's a long story, but I was selling siding and windows for a while when I first got married. I Anyway, I was not very good at it. I driving to people's houses. I'm not a salesperson, right? I'm not good at that. Some people are great at that. I'm really good at having good ideas. I'm really good at this kind of stuff, right? Um, and I'm good at quality control, like you know what I mean, like you know how I am. I'm very exacting. I'm not good at the sales part. Um, so there's one thing that they'll improve. Another thing is that I tend to be a little bit controlling is the wrong word, but maybe some people who were there would say I was controlling. I tend to be more of it's my idea. I have a vision for it. I want to kind of be in all the phases of it, right? Like I want to be almost like a micromanage, right? I got to stop doing that. So next year's Scraps for the Cure will be a lot less of me micromanaging, a lot more of people who are better at things than I am doing the things they're better at, right? That's going to be a lot more of next year. So we learned again, every year it gets better, but every year we learn more, right? So one of the things for next year is going to be more of a, more of like I'm going to run it more like a business next year, like with people with, you know what I mean? That's a big thing. We're going to have a little sit down, like folks who were there with me, and we're going to have a little Zoom call and sort of decompress what went good and bad and how we can fix for next year. So that was that. Now, that same question skill in the context of the 100K, that's today's show. I'm going to break down a little bit. I'm not going to go super mathy on y'all, but I'm going to break down kind of what I did during that whole $100,000 run and find out what worked and what worked for the show, but also what worked for me. And I want to kind of really get into that with you. So that'll be covered here as we go along today. So I'm just gonna run through chats, make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's see the 100K in stacks here. I don't have enough chips to do it, man. I'm so low on chips, I don't have it. Yeah, I know I'm blurry, Jen. I think I might have hit the camera with my thumb when I moved it. So I have to fix that. I'm sorry about that. No, it's actually kind of blurry for me. Okay, you're saying both. Let's see. So wattage loss I mentioned in the Craps for the Cure chat on CEG. Do some live interviews with both the beneficiaries of VMF and also some who are waiting to benefit. So we can do that. The problem is that those guys can't always come out, right? So we may have to Zoom them in, and that was a deficiency that we had in that show was our inability to Zoom, right? We Zoomed fine. Everybody came in and was on the show, but there's no way for the people in the room to hear the Zoom call, right? We had a speaker that the people in the room could hear them talking on Zoom, but our microphones picked that speaker up and it caused echo, right? That's where just so you know, when we have echo on our show, that's why, because there's some speaker in the room that's feeding the microphone with what's being said. You get this double kind of playback thing. We got to figure out a better way in the room to let folks hear what's being said on Zoom, but also have our mics on. So yeah, interviewing folks remotely wouldn't have worked very well. What I may do is interview them ahead of time, like I did with Heavy, and then play that interview during the thing. Actually, a question while we're on that subject is, what did you think about the Heavy interview? I mean, the interview was great, I thought, right? But was it weird to have a pre-recorded interview going as we were, in the live show? Pop, here comes an hour of me and Heavy. So let me know what you thought about that, because that's a thing that I may or may not do again going forward. So. Let's see. Louis says, too much time changing what I told everyone for the raffle date. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you're right about that. And the reason why I changed the raffle date at the last minute was because we were short, right? We didn't get our goal. And I wanted to give a little bit extra time to see if we can't get to that goal. Veterans Day, it seems like it makes good sense. You're right. I kind of pivoted on that really quick. But, I committed to making the 25,000 to get Ed's son as the beneficiary, and it's going to take us some more time. So I wanted to buy us more time. And yeah, you're right. There was a lot of things that bounced around, especially during the event and leading up to it. But the casinos not letting us have the table, not letting us have the room, we had to pivot a lot of stuff. So things were changing under our feet kind of the whole time. So anyway, there's that. Yeah, so I can use the audio as a mic source, which I did. Right? I don't use OBS. I use a different software, but I use the Zoom as a different mic source. That's not the problem. The problem is our mics picking up the live speaker. So if you picture a big speaker in the room so everybody can hear it, our mics pick that up, right? There's no way to screen that out. The mics have some built-in noise cancellation, but they're going to pick up room noise, right? So they pick up room noise anyway. When the room noise is also what you just said, that's where the problem was. So we'll figure there's better ways that we'll figure that out. So, but yeah, for sure, Louis, that was a big problem, and I understand it as well. There were some frustrations there. So we're gonna, again, I that's why I said on Monday when I came back, I'm like, I just don't feel like this year. Remember I said I kind of feel like I failed the charity. I failed the charity. I failed y'all in some ways because that's how I felt that. Right? I felt like it was just kind of we weren't hitting on all cylinders this year. For some reason, just didn't feel like we were hitting on all cylinders. So anyway, let's go. Let's see. Single source audio. Yeah, but I can't do that. That's the problem. I can't feed. Remember, we have my mic. We have the mic that the people have that were being on stage, kind of, and that one. I'm not sure I can combine that all into one mic source. I'd have to see if I can combine it all. Anyway, too techy. We'll talk about it later. I'll try it. I'll see if I can't combine it all in there. So, yes, I will have Ed's message for sure as part of the commercials next year. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Was that the best? His message. I mean, he did it twice. It was freaking amazing. Anyway, what else we have? Gypsy says, are there items that were supposed to be for bingo up for raffle? There are. Nothing for bingo was going in the raffle. The bingo prizes were always little ones, right? Let me actually show you something. Let me go into here. Give me a second. Let me get to. I gotta change my screen here. We're gonna go to this one. I'm gonna go to table with keynote. There we go. Okay, so that. Oh, hello. Really? Where's my? Oh, hold on. I gotta fix something. My mistake. Why is this thing not showing? Hold on. I screwed up one of my scenes here. This needs to be. That. And that's going to be. Nope. Wrong one. Sorry. I thought I set this up last night. I guess I didn't do it. Show keynote. There. And that should be. You get to watch me produce live production mess. Green screen and full screen. There we go. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay, so what was I talking about? I got that set. I got all confused. Let's see. Oh yeah, the auction items. I'm gonna walk around the other side of the table. Give me a second here to walk around because we're gonna talk about the Crouch for the Cure stuff, or the 100K anyway. I'm gonna be on this side of the table. So let me get over here, and I'll show you a couple things that we have that are not in the auction that I had planned for bingo. Because if you want to do it, the bingo things are here, right? One things that we have for bingo were these dice, right? We're gonna do a bingo raffle and have some of these dice. They're hard to see, I know. I don't know why the screen is so blurred out, but these are the red dice, the blood red dice. These things these are voided out. They came from Harvey's, right? So, they stamp the dice now, right? These things are actually voided. They're Harvey dice. That will be a bingo item, as well as these here. These dice were here, by the way, cost me like $40. These win blue dice are awesome. They cost like $40. Those are going to be up for a bingo game, as well as these two, which I can't really show in the camera too well. because they're going to shine. But this is the Tropicana token. It's going to be glary, but a Tropicana silver token, as well as a Mirage token, which is kind of cool. Mirage being torn down in favor of the guitar. Those are going to be auctioned off or bingoed off, as well as the commemorative chip for this year. Looks like that. It's got the logo on one side and it's got the CGTV on the other side along with the bracelet. These are going to be, we're going to bingo off this week. We're going to bingo these things off this week. And if you want to just buy one of these, $25 gets you one of those. So that's going to be, again, next, I'm going to push on that stuff next week a little bit, and then we'll finalize the whole deal and call 2024 done ahead of getting ready for next year. And I'm already kind of prepping for next year. So, all right, here we go. Let's talk about the 100K. And I got to get into this over here. The 100K was interesting. What did we do with this thing? So we started out with $10,000. Okay. And this was last February was when I started this off. February was the first month of it. Started out with $10,000. And I said, look, we're going to go ahead and play. We're going to buy in for 10%. We're going to win 10%. Modest goals, right? Modest buy-in. So we bought them for $1,000 every day, looking to win $100. And then if we won it, we'd have 10,100 in the bank. And the next day we'd buy in for 10% of that. And we kind of compounded the wins as we went. And that was fine. It worked. It took forever, but we got there, right? At about $40,000, we changed and I upped it. We went to 15,000 or 15% buy-in and a 20% win goal. That was about the time that I had this conversation with JB. And he was like, hey, you're getting there. You're getting lucky, of course. You're getting there. But you are flailing around too much. It's like you've got the bankroll. If you're going to buy in for 10%, whatever your buy-in is, use your buy-in. If you're going to claim that you have, which I did, a stop loss of 0, which we use a number of times, use it. Use your bankroll as leverage. Don't just sit there and try and dink and dunk all day long. You're killing yourself. And so we changed our approach, and that's what we did. One thing also, right, the pathways to getting there, and we considered everything as we went through this, right? There's all the tools we have. We have the right side, different pressing patterns, of course. You have dark side play. You've got positive, negative progressions. You've got ATS and bonus bets that we really didn't play a whole lot of, but we could have. Are you looking to play for a quick hit? You're looking to play for a long run, right? So you got this idea of like 2 hits and out or 3 hits and out, or play it a whalen way and say, I'm going to use my bankroll with lower denominations, but ladder up losses, right? And be okay with a long run, right? Versus an in and out, right? Am I looking for a home run? Am I playing a right side play that's really kind of designed to hit a home run? Is that what I'm really looking for, right? So those are the questions that we asked ourselves at the very beginning. And, you know, we considered a lot of different ways of doing it. So the initial approach was this. We took and played the same strategy for a month and answered some questions about the strategy. We wanted to see from these strategies, right, as we're playing them out, can they hold up? Can it last a month? Can the strategy that seems really good on YouTube or that I like to play last the whole month? Can it win consistently, right? We said early on we needed to have a good, whatever, about 65 to 75% win rate. And if a strategy couldn't do that, it would get cut off the list, right? What are its win conditions? And what is it scripts tonight? What is the thing that kills it, right? And then I asked the big question was, can I see myself playing this way? If I was really doing this with real money at a casino, trying to turn 10K to 100, would I do it this way? Would I want to play, you know, whatever way it is I'm looking at there? So we started out with the Dolly Latterson, and the Latterson was basically this. We did it at quarters. If you remember, it was a don't pass bet, right? We'd set, let's just say the point is 5, right? Then we would come in at the don't come. We didn't do the John Patrick way, right? Which would have been something like this. We would have maybe laid for $75, or maybe I would have laid it for 30 or something like that, right? Just lay it for something so that this bet here is kind of covered. We didn't do that. We just let them ride out, okay? And if the don't come bet moves to the 8 or something, we catch a 7, both bets pay, and that would have been ideal. That would have been the best thing, right? The problem with this strategy that we found during play was that it needed that. you needed to have, and that had to happen twice. You had to have a don't pass set, a don't come set. They both have to pay. That's 50 in profit. And then you got to do it again. You got to do this. The perfect thing has to happen twice. Another DP gets set, another DC gets set, and they both have to pay. And then you have your $100 in profit and can be done. Okay. What happened was this: we would have a don't pass and we get picked off. Okay. Now you come out with 2 Dolly Ladderson. So you laddered it up. It would get picked off, right? I threw a 7 and 11. Now we're out there for 3 units. Over here in the DC, another 3 units. So we're laddering up the stuff. That thing would get picked off with an 11 all the time. Okay, we got paid on the 3, so we get our money back. Yeehaw. It goes to the 8 or it goes to the 5. This happens so many. We buckshot the point, lose the don't. Now I got 3 units on the 5. And what I would do next is ladder up 4 units on the don't. And it was so hard to get these bets out, right? This laddering thing, when it worked, it'd be fine, right? But even in the perfect run, right? When I'm at this point here, it still takes 3 more, both of them having to win to work. And it was just kind of brutal to play that way. It seems like it's going to work. I've done it in the casino. It works. But boy, oh boy, we were 12-4 and ended up losing money, right? We had a good win rate and we just lost. Once you're upside down early, forget about it. There was way too many times. I think there was 6 or 7 times where the shooters had 50 or 60 rolls, right? Not rolls, like 50 rolls for me over the course of 5 or 6 shooters in a day. And you can't recover from that, right? You're at the casino for 3 hours trying to get a win. Didn't work. It's a good way to play if the table's shitty, but it's not a good way to make a paycheck, right? Then we went to the 6, 7, 8, which we all loved, right? It was a don't pass. And I think in our case, we did a $100 don't pass. And we did what I would call the quote unquote perfect spread. Okay. That could be on a point of 5 with $100. You might have done a $60 6 and 8. And again, every day was different, right? $60 on the 6 and 8, or I'm sorry, $30, $60 total. Sorry. Grab the 9. That's $85. Okay. Maybe a field, maybe just an outside number, something like this. That's $100 and $100, and you'd roll it out. And if you got a few inside hits, here we lose our don't pass, right? But if you got a few inside hits, there's a 9 for $35, and we take same bet it, take 1 win. There's another 9. Take a second win. That's fantastic. Take a third hit, whatever it happened to be. Boy, another 9, and you would take all this down. And if the 5 is the point, you lay the 5 for 70. Place 5 for $75, and you're out, right? And there is your $100. There's 75. That's $100. That is a $30 lock profit plus either 5 or another quarter, and do it again. That's how the 6, 7, 8 worked. It worked great. This one here was one of the best. And sometimes I would stay out there and let those place bets kind of roam, right? Stave off the DP and let the place bets go. That one did great. It was 90% win rate, and it won $2,100 at that level. We were playing at the small level, right? $100 DP. It worked awesome. Largely, you're playing stress-free, right? You buckshot the point sometimes. That happens less often than getting your 3 hits, and it was really kind of cool. There was an equal number of days where we hit it quick, like I just did, and when we grinded it out, when it took 100 or 200 rolls to get. So the grinder days sucked, but this one, we didn't do much with the line. We just let the line sit there. We didn't do any kind of aggressiveness with the line. There was no laddering. There was no parlaying. We just played the line pretty straight. This one with an aggressive line could be interesting because the Red Cross used a very aggressive line play to make it work, right? This one, I could see myself playing. This is one of the ones that had a high win rate. I could see doing that at a casino. And, especially when you're in a big group, a little survival time might be a kind of a cool thing. So that was a good one. The other one, the 3-point Molly, was one of the more popular ways to play. I don't know why I have don't pass plus perfect spread there. That was the yellow part's wrong. This one, interestingly enough, had a 75% win rate, which is great, right? Great win rate, but it lost almost $4,000. Okay. This one was the house edge. You saw it in real life. And the 3-point Molly, of course, was a a pass line bet, okay? And whatever the point, there's a midnight. We lose the pass line. I'll just roll it out really quick here. So we had a pass line, it goes to the 9, and you would go max odds, right? 4x the bet. I think you can see that, right? 4x the bet on the backside. A come bet goes to the 6, and again, it's max odds, so it's 5x odds, right? I'll put them here so you can kind of see them. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there they are. Another come bet. Look how volatile this is, right? You're at a 5. That goes over there, and again, we'll do 4x the bet. I should probably just make that a black chip. Be easier to see it. A black chip down there. Another come bet. 5. Now this is a good example, right? So that goes to the 5, and we win up here, right? That should be 150. So you win 150, and you're still up in the come. That was a good run, right? Actually, right there. What happened to us during this one was we never got the hits, right? We get the bets up there set. 5, 6, we're good. A little bit of profit there. And you'd 7 out, right? And then everything would just go bye-bye, right? You had a ton of money out here, and you'd end up getting crushed on it. This is actually back on our rack. There's a 5. So what happened here was we would have all this money out and bang out a 7. Or we'd hit the point, hit the 9, puck would be off, come out 7, we'd lose it all. This one, so many days. It took 6, 7, 8 shooters to get there. One day was 240 rolls that we did. Just to make $100. It took so long. And what you found was on days where it didn't go well, because you're putting so much odds out there from your rack, if you had the 6, 8, and the 5, you're at 25, 25, or 25, 25, 25, and 125, 125, and 100. You got $500 out there for a $1,000 bankroll, and you catch a 7, you're screwed. There's no coming back from that. What we discovered during the Molly play was that you tie a lot or you lose. When you win, though, there's so much coming out of your rack. The volatility was so big in the rack. There's no way I could play that way for real. Not carrying the kind of bankroll it takes to get the odds out there, and B, it was so boring. There was no moves to be made. It was really, really, really boring. And we all hated it. Everybody was watching me play this thing was like, God, this sucks, right? It was not good entertainment, not reliable at all. Even with a 75% win rate, we still lost our bankroll. We'd lost money on it. So there's no way. That's not a good paycheck, everyday winner kind of a thing. So the Red Cross, though, was great. The Red Cross was awesome, right? That was a fun one. We did the Baccarat line, right? So I'll show it to you at the level that we played it at, which was $100 on the dome. I want you to picture units, right? So this one it's 5 units here, 4 units here, and 3 units here. So 5 $25 units, right, is 125 on a 5. It's 150 on a 6 or 8, like so, and 3 units in the field. And what we did was in the field, let's just get a quick demo, right? We get I'm going to ignore the come out winners and losers for now. We get a 5, right? I'll leave the 5 here for now. We can take it down. It doesn't really matter that much. Once your puck is on, right, we have a 9. So the 9 pays in the field. What we did was we grabbed the 4, 9, and 10. You're looking for 2 or 3 hits. There's a 10, right? That pays 50 here. That comes back to the rack. Put the rack over here, right? And you get paid $75 in the field, which then goes up and presses up here. There's another 9. That's great. That would pay $70 for this 9, which you would take to the rack, and you get paid $75 there in the field. And we take that field money and press up these guys up here. We're looking for 3 collects. At some point, any 3 collections and we're out of dodge, right? There's a 11 yo, game over, right? That comes down. We take our initial money, all the wins, right? Our initial money would have been this, right? All this other stuff comes back to the rack. And there's our wins. And you take, if this was your initial spread right here, what you profited there was 100, 200, $420 in profit. Done. 3 hits and out kind of a thing, right? But you're exposed for the entire 3 hits. Now with the point of 5 and $100 on it, you probably go 75 and let it ride itself out. If we lost at all, let's say we hit the 5 during that run, what you would do is double up that and switch sides. Baccarat the line. If the puck beats you, you double your bet or you ladder your bet and switch sides. This ended up being the reason why we won. A lot of times, what would happen is you had these short runs where you either buckshot your point or you have a quick 7. And this line would go, okay, we lost that one, go to the don't with 3 units. We lost that one, go back to the pass line with 4 units. And before you know it, right, you're back to the don't with a 5-unit bet. Remember these days? And you go, oh my God, that's a lot of money. And then you'd win it. You'd win on the don't. And the rule was parlay the win. So you'd have $500, $1,000 on the don't, have a come out ace deuce, and you'd win 1,000 and you're out of the hand, right? That happened to us a lot. The Red Cross won for all the different ways, right? It won quick hits up here some days it won down here. Some days you'd set a point of 4 and have 1 billion box numbers hit and you'd be rolling forever, right? And just win that way. It survived everything. It was 90% win rate. It won $18,000. The wins never came the same, right? But you got a big bankroll, right? To play that Baccarat line ladder, you need massive bankroll to do it. And we found that we were playing this one at about the $2,000 level with I think we had $20 on the don't. We were 20, not 100 down here. Even then, a couple days I felt really nervous about how much money we had out there. So this one with like a $5,000 bankroll, even at $5,000, I don't think it's enough money to play at black chip level because you might get this bet up to $500-600 sometimes. So it's good, but you gotta come ready to rock the bank on that one. The Storm was interesting. The Storm won 63% of the time, only made $400. That's a don't pass with big odds, and then an across regression. So you might have like 25 on the don't, and let's say the point is 4, and you lay it for max for 150, right? And then everything else gets a bet, right? Everything else goes at the same level, that same base bet level, a quarter across. What you would do is let's just get I set a point of 4. All right, so 7 out. Okay, so here's a 7 out. You'd win 25 and 75, $100, right? But look at this. You're out here for one. There's your $100. You lose an extra 35. Now you're upside down. Now you got to win extra. If it does happen, let's pretend that there's no set. We get an actual roll, like a 6 for 35. You take the 10 down. Now you're missing a bullet, right? But you did bring some risk back. Another 10, and we miss our open hole. There's a 5 for $35. The 5 comes down, and at this point, you've got your $100 and whatever dollars in your rack, right? You can take the odds down, and if you look at where you were, 135 across plus the quarter, so 125. There's 135 plus the initial quarter that you had, right? You're out of the hand with a little bit of profit. That was the idea of the Storm, right? To kind of pull bets down as you played it. Very similar to how I play today, which is the duck and cover. The difference was the don't pass with the massive odds. What happened during this one, when we played it out, was that bet got crushed more often than not. We kept buckshotting points, and this ended up not doing its job, right? The idea behind it was solid. It never seemed to work, and we got killed. As a hybrid, it doesn't do a good enough job picking the side, is what I felt with it. It didn't really go all in on either side. It was way too hedged. And that don't pass, the don't pass piece of this one here with the big odds ended up being the reason why it lost. Again, sound idea, but the big odds were the reason why this thing got killed, not the reason why it would have won. And that was unfortunate for that one. So that one, not one I would play for real. The odds maker is one that I always have loved. I played this one forever. This one, 60% win rate, won $600, right? Which means it basically tied. Like the Molly, it leans way too much into the house edge. So effectively, we tied all the time. What happens on this one is it's a pass line bet. Let's just use a black. It goes to, let's just pick a number. It goes to a number. It goes to the 10. Okay. Then we would do an equivalent size don't come bet. Midnight doesn't matter. 5 goes behind the 5. So now we have a pass line against the 10. I don't love it, right? Single odds. right? We don't go max odds. We go single odds here, double odds here, full odds here on the pass line. On the don't pass, same thing, right? Max odds here, maybe single or double odds here, and maybe on the 6 and 8 you go just maybe 1x odds. So on the 5, we might have gone 150 as a lay, and let it roll itself out, right? Let's see. If you can get both of them to win, you're in great shape. But here it is, right? We lose the 5, right? That sucked. This happened to us all the time. Go back out again, right? Get another one going. 7 out, and then you lose everything. That is how that strategy went for me. Some days it was like that, and if you start out like that, that's a third of your bankroll. Bye-bye. Hard to recover. This one, though, with enough bankroll, ties. I played this as a kid, right? $3 on both bets, and survived most nights when I was young. And it was a good way to kind of learn the game and get rhythm. But, it's not one that I would say is good for a paycheck. What we discovered with the paycheck is getting to a paycheck requires a little bit of mental, right? The 2100 Salute was one I really liked. Seems like it's going to be good, right? And the genesis of it was this. We'll do a one of our favorite bet sizes, which is this. We're going to go here. This will be 35 on the 5 and 9, and we'll do 42 on the 6 and 8. Okay, this was 204 across, which, by the way, dealers hate to do for some reason. But anyway, everything in here pays $50, right? 4 pays 50 for one, $35 on the 5 pays 50 for one, 42 on the 6 and 8 pays 50 for one. We started playing this one when my win goal was 1,500. Okay, this would have been a fine spread if your goal was 150, by the way, right? Because every bet pays 50 for one, right? You set a point of 6. 3 rolls is all you need, right? There's the 6 that pays $50. We'll set a new point. Back to the 6 we go. An 8 pays 50 for one. One more time. There's a 10 that pays 50. So in this case here, we win our paycheck, right? 3 hits and you're out. The problem with it is it takes 3 hits. If you only get 1 hit or 2 hits, right? If you get 1 hit, you're out there 204. You get $50 and you lose. You're losing 150, which means you got to win 3 times to get back to even, plus 3 times to get your win. You're looking at 6 wins now to get it right. If you don't get it the first time, you're screwed. If you catch 2 wins, right, but not the third one, you've won 100, you've lost 204, you're still $104 behind. You need 2 wins to get even, and then 3 wins to get your profit. Now you're looking at 5 wins to get out of the hand, to get your paycheck, right? This one never regresses. So unless you get it out of the gate, you're never going to get it. And we found that although this makes good sense and it's a fun strategy, seems like it's going to work. You look at that. We had a 71% win rate, but only won $500 because of that reason. You kept never getting like that second or third hit. It was super frustrating because I'm like, God, this thing should just work. It just seems like it's so easy, but that third hit just seemed like it was so hard to get to. No regression, which makes it basically all or nothing, right? And finally, we landed on the drawdown, right? Which was 3,200 to 1,600 to 320. And what we liked about this one was this. Let's go. I need to get some purples. Move it across the table. So on the drawdown, it was this. We're going to go 3,200 across. And again, this could be done at 320 across. Same thing. $3,200 across. And what we would do is on the first hit, let's set a point. We got a point of 4. On our first hit, if we get one, there's a 5, pays 700. There's your 700. We would draw down by half, take half the bets away. Now we're at 1,600 across, okay? Which 250, 250, 300, 300, 300, or 252. That was 1,600. Just like you were doing looks like you're doing 160 across, okay? There's that. So after the first hit, you take your $700 back plus part of your bets. You were out there at 3,200. You've got 2,200, $2,300. You're only into the hand for 900. The worst thing happens on roll 2. You're out for 2/3 of your initial bet or back in your rack, right? This is why this one worked, I think, because yeah, sometimes you PSO'd and got the whole thing taken away. Most of the time when you lost, you lost. I lost more here on this roll than on the first roll, which is a luck thing, right? I lucked into my rhythm was not getting PSO'd. My rhythm was the one hit wonder for my losses, right? So we catch an 8, which in this case pays 350, right? And now you're done, right? I'd actually take the 320 and play with that and come back to the rack with everything else, right? Here is the drawdown working its magic. We'll take all these things back. Remember, we're out there for 3,200. I'm going to take all the blacks to 1,500. There's 2,100 in black. Wait, hold on. I had that wrong. 1,500, 1,700. I knew that was wrong. $1,700 in black, right? 3 purples. There is 2,000, 3,000, $200, right? Purple and greens are profit. So we had $725 in profit off of the 2 rolls, and you're playing 320 across. Or I could just say, screw that. I'm going to take 500, 6, 7, 8, 1,050 home, right? I can play 320 or I can take 700. I have a choice there to play it out or not, right? Maybe let's take that and play with $50. Go 24 and 24, right? The drawdown worked well. 1 hit, you got a third of your money back. On the second hit, you have your paycheck level and can decide to keep playing or go home. That one seemed to work the best, right? And I fell in love with it, and we played it every single day for the most part. That got us the big win. That thing made us $41,000 and got us almost all the way home, right? The final approach we took, we settled on that one. Once we got into that rhythm, I'm like, you know what? That's the way. It had more yeses and nos on those initial questions than it was the Dallas Drawdown. That's the way we elected to play. Can it hold up? Yeah, right. It was 75% win rate. The expected win rate, by the way, 68%, right? So we were a little bit 7% luckier than we should have been with that one, right? And it was great. It won consistently. What does it need to win? You got to beat the 7 twice. What is its kryptonite? The PSO. Would I play it every day? Yes. If I had the money to go out there, every day at 320 across and go 320, take a hit, go to 160, take a hit, come down to a $12 6 and 8, I would 100% do that. The current funding level that I got, no, right? I'm a little bit under. Hold on, let me get back over here again. We're a little bit underfunded. Let me go back to that screen. Can you see my pretty face now? Let me see over here. I don't want to go there. I want to go to the screen above that. That shit. Whatever. Hold on a second. Can't see. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try and get to some of your questions here. So give me a second. Let's go filter by the letter Q and see if I can find some good questions to answer. Okay. Let's see. Can I explain the wait 1 roll theory that I used? Yes. So this was just literally, this was just it's a feel thing, right? There's zero math behind that. But you know how many times it seems to me it's more frustrating to get your tail kicked on a PSO. It just sucks to get PSO'd, right? So Dice Coach Bo Parker, that's his thing. He has some rules. When you play with him, he's got rules. He's like, you always 1 count the shooter, right? Let him set a point, make him roll a box number, and then go on. He also, if he sees a 3 or a 2, takes a roll off. If he sees a 2 or a 12, he takes 2 rolls off. There's no math behind it, right? None. But in his mind, sometimes those things beget other things. He's like, just take the time off. It's not going to hurt you to take a roll off. I'm like, it goes against everything I believe in. And you know, I've said this how many times, right? It makes no difference. But we did it. Frankly, it saved me. Like 1 counting everybody, I probably dodged 6 or 7 PSOs at least. I only got whacked on that second roll once or twice. Like, set a point, hit a number, then I'm on, and the 7 comes there. That only happened once or twice. Most other times I got it. Right? It's an anomaly in the world that it worked out for me that way, but it did work out. So that was literally just playing what Dice Coach said to do. I just did it. Darksider also says, have I done the drawdown with Windcrap scripts? Yes, I have. And it does really well. What you'll find with it is that, frankly, it ties. most of the time. Like against the big number of rolls that we've got, I think you and I have that set of like 50,000 rolls. It holds up really well. The thing about it that's hard to win craps, and it's hard to do it like in Dicer. And I actually ran the drawdown against the entire set of rolls that I had for the daily paycheck that and I don't have all the rolls. I only have about a third of the rolls. Is you don't play it every single shooter, right? The only way to win craps this thing is to play it on every single shooter forever and all time, right? Here, it's like I played it, got our paycheck, and then I would, okay, take the bets down, and then I would put out like 120 across or something, or 110 inside, and play something different for the rest of the day, right? All those rolls get logged. You follow me? So I'm playing different roles, different strategies. I'm only really playing that strategy for the first shooter of the day. Hard to simulate that, right? In those things. Casino, same thing, right? In the mornings, I would get up and go downstairs and play not the drawdown, but something similar, still a 2-hit strategy. So it would have been equivalent of win rate, and won almost every time. Actually every time in Vegas, I won on my morning runs by playing a drawdown kind of a system. But I didn't play it the rest of the day. I played it in the morning, generate some money, use that money the rest of the day. If I had to play that thing every single shooter every single day, you're gonna end up getting your ass kicked, right? It seemed like, again, what can you control? How much money you put out there, where you put the money, and how you shoot the dice, right? So I kind of feel like if I'll trust myself to shoot a couple non-sevens and be out of it, right? And that was kind of the thing. So I was going to do all these strategies in win craps and kind of show you how they all fared out, but not having the whole set of rolls sucks. And also the fact that every strategy didn't play every shooter, right? So some of these shooters, the way that I ran the show, it wouldn't have been fair to test the strategies against all those rolls. So I've got to find another way to give you kind of a good window into how these things played out, like how they would play out over longer terms. I will do some. I don't have them all even written up yet, but we'll do a little bit of that. I just think, I don't know, it's kind of boring is the right word, but yeah, we will eventually figure out a way to show all of them against all the rolls. And what I'll probably start doing is logging some rolls here as we go on the new morning show. But yeah, the drawdown, just like I said, it just seems to be like it's the comfort zone as far as getting out of hand. I really like having half my money or 2/3 of my money back on that first hit. I love that part of it. So I see some more questions over here. Let me go over here and see what's up. Dice Dr. Dan, Dan first. What would you think 320 to 160 to 96 looking for the long roll? That's fine, right? If you do that though, remember you're not going to be out of the hand completely. You're going to get your 320 gives you 70, right? The 160 gives you 35. You're at 105. You go 96. You're $9 in profit, and you hope for a long run. What happens is, and this is why I said earlier, I like the skill 66 because of what it stands for, right? It's 66 to 88 down to 44. What happens is you have 44 inside, you have $4 in profit, and you're playing for a long hand. The long hands rarely come. And we all know this, right? Most hands are 5-6, 5-6, 9, right? You just don't make any money doing that, right? You end up having so many times that you tie, right? Most of the time, those ways of playing tie. You lose the full 96 or the full 66. Yeah, you have $4 in profit, but now you got to start over again. You got to dodge that huge bullet one more time to get down to where you can play for free. Playing for free doesn't always mean you're going to make the money. Okay. One thing that David highlighted in his session with us at Casino Quest, which I have wrestled with this time and time again. We've wrestled with it as a group. We've talked about this thing over and over again, which is this notion of, do you start low and just go, right? Go 64 across at a $10 table. To start at 64 and say, look, I'm just going to burn the 64, looking for the good roll. I'm just going to shoot the moon, right? Or do you go, I'm going to burn potentially 160 for a couple of hits, 2 hits to get $70 to go 64 across for free, right? You end up tying so many times that when you burn the 160 to get to the 64, those ties have so much more work to do to cover the 160, right? That's the problem with a one-hit regression and keep on playing, is that when you lose the big one, It takes too many small ones to get it back. If you're going to risk the whole thing and leave, that's fine, because now you know that the big risk can get you back what you lost quicker than those little tiny $9 ties. That's what I find frustrating about playing an across regress tie, across regress tie, across lose it all, across regress, and now you need to make 9 wins to pick up your loss from that small point forward. Very frustrating way to play, and it's a rack sucker. It just is. So that's my thoughts on it. I prefer to go out there and just play it out, right? The duck and cover kind of does that, right? You're out there, you regress a number, regress a number, regress a number, but you still have, when you're done, 3 numbers that are up, and you're able to kind of hit the ground at a run instead of at a crawl. And that, I think, is a difference maker for me. Who else is here? Randy Hill. I'll get my glasses back on if I can read this. Randy Hill says, would have been interesting what the roles would have been if I just used for the paycheck. Not sure what you mean there. Oh no, what did I do? What did I do? Hit the wrong screen. I lost everything. Let's see. Tom says risking more to win less, or really more compared to risking less to win more. It's such an interesting conversation to have, right? And I see Alfredo's, before I go to Alfredo's question, Alfredo's doing the same thing. He's going for 100,000. I think you're going for 100,000. He's doing a bankroll build, right? He's doing it differently. And if I go all the way back, I'm going to go all the way back here. Give me a second to get back to the first screen. Okay. The pathways to success. We talked about this when I was over the table. All the ways you can play, right? Pure right side. Now, pure right side, you can start small and go high from a small point, right? You can go right side with a big bet and bring it down, and then start going. You can go dark. You can go right side from the inside, spread to the outside, and then go. A lot of ways to play it, right? You can go a little bit of hedging, right? A tool that you have is ATS and bonus bets, right? A tool that you have is playing for the longer run, a shooter that's going to get 15 rolls, right? That's a tool that you have, right? Your ways of playing can be targeted towards, let me get the ATS big wins. Let me get the long roll as safely as I can, right? I chose to play for a quick hit. I chose to go bigger for 2 or 3 rolls and be out. Some people, and I'm going to look at Alfredo in the audience, Alfredo's playing this more like, hey, I'm going to play craps like a shooter. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to trust my skills to get me a couple of ATS wins here and there. I'm going to trust my skills to build up my 76 across or my 130 to get, to grow my bets and win that way, right? Alfredo's looking to win in a whole different rhythm than I was, which I think is super interesting, right? I chose, let me use my bankroll as leverage, bigger bets, bigger win, get out fast. Alfredo uses his bankroll as leverage on the other side. I'm going to take more shots at it from a smaller level, but really hit it when it comes, right? 2 completely different mindsets to get to the same place. And I think that's interesting because he's using all the tools differently than I did. I used one tool, which was bankroll. I did not use all the other things, right? I didn't hit the ATS very much, right? For me, the ATS would have been a bleed, right? Repeaters might have been good for me, but I think that was interesting, right? And watching how he's doing it, I find super interesting. So he says, why not limit to 3 shooters, avoid chase, take loss, right? I think that's great. And we talked about this the other day, Alfredo, on the morning show from a rhythm standpoint, right? My first little hello, everybody, let's play will be up to 3 shooters, right? Well, there will be no loss chasing, right? Because you're right. I'm going to keep that up. If you go forever, like the Molly did, right? You're going to be chasing it forever and never getting there, right? It's like, so I like the idea of saying you're 1, 2, or 3 shooters done. Whatever happens, happens. That's a good way to scope your time at the table and say today's going to be a win or today's going to be a loss. I'm doing that same thing with the drawdown. I'm saying, look, it's 1, 2, or 3 hits and I'm done. I either lose on the first hit, I lose on the second hit, or I win the paycheck every day. That's it. That's only 3 outcomes that can happen. I'm not chasing the loss, right? Sometimes I would go out there at like a 1/3 size bet and do a little bit of a run with it. But honestly, that was 1 hit or 0 hits, 1 hit or 2 hits, and I'm gone, right? scoping your time. I like your idea of scoping it to 3 shooters and being done. Whatever happens, happens, right? And you say that is the real reality. Can't paycheck grinding take you, he says, as many can't paycheck 1 or 3 shots a day, you'll lose in the long run playing too big up front. Maybe, right? I I I don't know if I agree with that statement completely. Going big for 2 or 3 rolls, if you can afford it and if you can shoot it, right, where you're getting that 7 beat most of the time, even at, like I said, we won on the drawdown at 80 something. I think my win rate was 82%. But even if I'd only won 75% of the time, I still would have made the money, right? Even at 75% win rate, which is just a little bit better than average, you would have made major bank in that strategy because it does scope you. The first roll coming down so far is the secret to that thing. It's not the fact that it's 3 hits. It's the fact that you're pulling 2/3 off. And again, it's a matter of taste. And I think me scoping it to three rolls versus you scoping it to 3 shooters, it's the same mentality, right? You're saying I'm going to scope my time to this limited window of things, right? I'm not going to try and chase forever and get a grind that's going to go for 200 rolls. I'm going to either take my lumps in 3 shooters or I'm going to get my gravy in 3 shooters, and I'm doing it in 3 rolls. It's the same concept, right? It's the mental gymnastics that we go through. And I think if nothing else, the paycheck has taught me that, right? That you know what your possible outcomes are and you kind of embrace that. To me, I found over the course of all this time that I love the game of craps, but time is your enemy. The less time I'm out there playing, the better it is for me. That's why the drawdown to me worked so well, and like the Red Cross worked so well because you can be out of there quick. I don't want to be there for forever, right? And take it for what it will, right? We can do the whole thing again, and I can do a 3 shooter thing with like the Philly special. If you look at the stats, by the way, the best strategy of all was the Philly special, right? And the tier pressure Philly special, they won the most money. With a bad win rate, they won the most money. They were about a 50% win rate, but both of those things won like $8,000-9,000 because they catch good rolls, right? And that's what Alfredo's doing in his show. He's trying to catch good rolls. When you catch one, right, you're not making 20%, you're making 300%. And that's a big difference maker, right? So I think I said this when we were talking to Ryan from Mark the Point the other day. I'm going to go to the end here, go to the right screen, about what he and I were talking to it about this in person, right? But what is the experience that you want, right? For me, my experience at the table most of the time is going to be this kind of flat, a little up, a little down, a little up, a little down. Sometimes we catch a little more like this. My grid is like this, right? Ryan, who plays more aggressively, was like lose, lose, bam, big win, lose, lose, big win, right? Lose, 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 and he's so jagged, right? The adrenaline rush of that jaggedness, I think, was interesting. That some people want that, I don't, So anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. I had a great time doing it. And would I do it again? I don't know, right? Will I do it for real? Maybe someday. I don't have the bankroll to really go out there and give it a shot yet, right? So that's I play more, across, regress, do my thing, and kind of survive and grow. I'm not trying to build bankroll right now. I'm just having to have some fun when I go out there. So that's it. What do we have here? We have TCS said the large variation downward will kill you until the good run. Keep in mind the 8 PSO I avoid with 1. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And again, the 1 count really work. I mean, it worked. It saved me, but mathematically, it doesn't matter, right? We dodged it. But yeah, you saw in the shows here, and again, the 1 count on every other shooter, not myself, right? Here in the morning, when I'm shooting, I have a little bit of trust. So there's that. Let's see. Whatever road to get there, y'all want to arrive the dream roll and the pedal to the metal, right? I do think like we're in it for that, right? Like I like even to go what I did this morning, right? Just that $5,000 that I won with skill, or the last demonstration there, ending that thing up with a 160 across and go is fine, right? Go when you're, I won $1,000, play 160 and have a good time with it. I think that's, to me, it seems dangerous to do that, right? What I just did. Of course, I'm playing at purples, But going 320 to 160 to whatever is fine, right? Most people, that's fine. And if you're building a bankroll, I would have no problem buying in for $1,000, doing that maybe twice in a day, right? And winning $100 and being done with it. Like use 320 to win 100. Is not, it really is what you're doing. You're using 320 to win 100, and that's the math on that. Anyway, nobody has to agree. It worked for me, and I found that I was way more satisfied playing that way than trying to grind it out. That's what I discovered throughout the whole thing. I felt like that was a more satisfying way to get her done. So, all right, folks, I got to run. I got to get to work. So, my final word is this: do it how you want to do it. Right? If you want to start small and grow all the way up from zero, awesome. If you want to start higher or mid-range, take a couple hits to come down and then go and play from a position of being tied, go for it. You want to go like I'm doing, 1 or 2 hits and down from a higher level and kind of walk away, that's all good. Just, again, use your bankroll as the leverage you want to use it as, right? And put the money at risk you're willing to put at risk for the reward you're trying to get to. Just make sure that it's money that is set aside for that reason, right? And that's about it. So, y'all have a good Friday, a good weekend. I will do a live over the weekend. I'm going to do some Crapsy rollouts over here. I'm getting videos cut down from the Craps for the Cure, and we'll get reset next week with some new raffle, or get the raffle items repositioned and some of the bingo stuff done. So. With that said, folks, I am out. Y'all have a great weekend. Love y'all. God bless, and bye.